Welcome to OkState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Wow, what a weekend it was for the baseballers. What a finish to the regular season it has been for Oklahoma State baseball. Congratulations to Coach Holliday, Coach Walton, Coach Cobber, old Cobber there from Broken Arrow. You remember old Trey Cobb. He's the bullpen guy. He's been helping Coach Walton all year. Coach Romero and Coach Ginther and Hub and all the Smoke and all the guys that do such a great job in the baseball program and all the players. Congratulations on a wonderful finish to the regular season. Whatever happens from here on forth, got to say out loud, super, super proud of all of you young men for hanging in there. This has been a tough season. Fans have been very difficult. You have to understand. Us fans that are of my age, the 40s and 50s, we remember Oklahoma State at its highest. And so trust me, I know it's been hard on you, but the expectations that these fans have been putting on you, the pressure you felt to uphold what Oklahoma State baseball is, you made it through it. And actually, in my opinion, what it's done is it's made everybody, I think, realize that, hey, let's raise the standard here and try to get to the point to where everybody wants it to be. And thank you to all of you guys who have put that into place. Continue to fight for the brand of Oklahoma State University and put the product on the field that you were capable of. That, quite frankly, the biggest compliment I can give you is that as I sat in the stands on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and enjoyed every second of it and yelled my ass off from the stands and just had a great time, I can honestly say every second that I watched everybody play this last weekend, it looked like OSU baseball. Coming from somebody of my age, that's the biggest compliment you can give to any player in the system. So congratulations to that. Super proud. Whatever happens moving forward, it's been very impressive. And I want to thank everybody and show appreciation for everything that you've done down the stretch to hang in there. So having said that too, congratulations to Coach Walton, who is retiring, the Wizard. And hey, I'm going to just put it point blank out there. There's been a lot of criticism of Coach Walton for this or that, or pulls pitchers too fast, or doesn't pull, or whatever, throws too many sliders, or they nibble too much. Hey, I've been that guy. It's baseball. Second-guessing decisions in baseball is literally what makes it fun, especially when it comes to pulling pitchers out. Nobody knows that science. That's why in the professional ranks, they just make a pretty hard, fast rule. Unless you're like a Hall of Famer, you're not facing a lineup more than two times through. You're not facing them that third time. They've just made that rule. So now you just kind of have hard, fast rules that pitching coaches aren't guessing. But when you're at the college level, and sometimes there's a gap between what you have on the mound and what you might be bringing in from the bullpen, which I'm not saying there necessarily is with OSU, but it's maybe that night there is, because when you have a guy on the mound that's dealing, okay, it's really hard to take that guy out. I mean, from what you're seeing right there, and put in anybody else. I don't care how good the bullpen arm is. It's hard to take somebody out that's pitching well. So all those decisions from pitching coaches, if you're a pitching coach, that's just comes with the territory. But anybody who does not think that Rob Walton has been anything other than just completely awesome at Oklahoma State, I can't take you serious. Point blank. Rob Walton has been awesome at Oklahoma State, going all the way back to his playing days. Rob Walton is in the fiber of OSU baseball. This is an exciting day for him because he gets to go watch Donnie play. His boy Donnie's still at AAA. Actually got called up, I think about a month ago. He's kind of on that up-down train. Gets to go probably spend time with him. Gets to do whatever the hell he wants to do for a change. I mean, because baseball is a big grind. So congratulations, Coach Walton. You are an absolute Oklahoma State baseball legend. There's no doubt about it. I will not take anybody serious that doesn't acknowledge the fact that Rob Walton is a legend in Oklahoma State baseball. Thank you so much for your wonderful service. We're going to get into the weekend's action here in just a minute. Wanted to talk about the softball just a little bit, and I haven't covered them as much because, quite frankly, every time I do, there's a rash of about 25 softball fans that act like complete horses' asses. So it's like not worth my time, because it's like, okay, I don't mind covering them as a hobby and on my own time, but I'm not going to do it and listen to a whole bunch of, to be honest with you, jackasses that think they know everything about everything. just criticize every post that's put out or every play that I'm just not going to do it. It wasn't worth having to deal with all the negative messages and the negative comments and just every time there's a itty bitty mistake, just make it a big deal out of it. So whatever. I'm sure nobody missed the coverage, so it is what it is, but that's kind of why it went that way. It's just like, that's not worth it. So I stopped even doing it. And I did a couple of posts here and there, but I'll say this, Coach Gajewski, extremely straight up coach, absolutely awesome. Hey, this goes beyond Coach Gajewski. This goes into Kenny and growing up in Stillwater, living in the Stillwater area, being in the coaching ranks. I know tons and tons and tons and tons of people that know Kenny Gajewski beyond Coach Gajewski. And I can tell you, Kenny Gajewski is as respected as Coach Gajewski. First of all, he's an awesome human being. He's totally straight up. He's somebody that you would trust with your last dollar. And so whenever he makes a statement about something, I believe everything. It's not coach speak. He is literally saying what he's going to do. He's going to evaluate the coaches. He's going to evaluate the system. He's going to evaluate whatever it may be, the offense, the defense. I think we need to figure out a situation to where we can use Ruby Malin a little bit less next year. Ruby has stated that she's coming back. You got Talon Edwards, who's in the transfer portal. Michaela Warks in the transfer portal. I'll say this, there's nothing to worry about there. That's not any indication of the program. Imagine being a 22, 23-year-old and somebody says, you know what, you got 1 year left to have a free paid vacation to go anywhere you want. They're going to pay for it for the entire year. Matter of fact, they're going to pay you to go do it. That's a pretty attractive thing. I mean, Talon Edwards and Michaela Wark have had a lot of success at OU. So go write a different chapter somewhere else. I never have ever an issue with players wanting to go experience something different, whether it's that or whether they think, hey, I've already had the instruction here at OSU. Here's another part of it. Like if you watch the minor league system, which I do a lot with my Dodgers Daily site, what's great about it is as these guys get moved up, they have differentiated instruction. So if a very talented hitter like Talon Edwards maybe isn't hitting the way she wants, I'm not trying to put words in her mouth. I'm just saying, for instance, or Michaela Wark, let's go get some differentiated instruction. Let's get a different idea. Let's get a different opinion. Not that the one that Oklahoma State is bad or wrong, just that as many different ways of looking at things as I can get, the better off it is for me, because I can then take all the different ideas. I can pluck this part of that idea that I like, this part of that idea that I like, and I can put all the best ideas together to make the best version of me. So I never have an issue whatsoever of players viewing things that way. I will never blame players for transferring and trying to make, even if it's a financial decision. Hey, who am I to tell my kid not to go make as much money as they possibly can? I am all about proud and true, but I am all about you do what's best for you. Hopefully here at Oklahoma State, we create a situation to where you truly feel like being at Oklahoma State actually is what's best for you. That's our job. And so, hey, good luck to those two girls. Good luck in your future endeavors, whatever they may be. And as far as this year's season, it was just one of those deals to where you just couldn't gain traction on any kind of consistency. I don't think the Cowgirls, they didn't hit enough home run. I think a lot of times they relied maybe a little bit too much on small ball and this and that. And I don't know. To get into it would take a semester course. But I think bottom line is I think the Cowgirls do need to hit a few more home runs. I think they need to find some pitching that allow. I think Ivy Rosenberry was a huge aspect of last year behind Lexi Kilfoyle. I mean, I think you need a better 1-2 punch, if you will. I hope that doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. That's just, hey, it's Division I baseball at a high level, or softball at a high level. It is what it is. That's how I feel. Maybe you don't feel that way, but I do. So that's kind of how I think about that. But I'll say this in closing. Coach Gajewski will make whatever hard decisions there has to be made, if there aren't any. If Coach Gajewski wants to come out and say, I'm good. Hey, it's 1 year. We've been pretty damn good around here. I understand you fans want knee-jerk changes every time the wind changes direction, and you want me to make, but we're not doing it. So, typically speaking, like where you wreck is like you go off the road on the right side, right? And then you realize you're going off the road and you swerve, and then you go across the road and you get hit by oncoming traffic, or you go into the other side ditch because you overcorrected. That's what you need to not do. And so like a lot of people say, hey, the cure cannot be worse than the disease. So if Coach Gajewski comes out and says, I'm good, we're going to run it back, we're going to go find the best players we can, and this is what we're going to do because this is what I say is best for Oklahoma State softball, I'm good. He's earned that trust from me. Who am I to tell Coach Gajewski what he should and shouldn't do? So that's where I'm at on the softball side of things. As far as baseball, what a weekend. What a player Braden Smith is. Opposite field home runs, opposite field doubles, 2-strike approaches, clutch hits, great defense. I mean, just incredibly great defense. Gabe Davis, you saw come in and close. That Friday night game was that was an interesting deal. That was exciting. I'll put it to you that way. And then he made Sunday quite a bit less exciting. So super excited to see where Gabe Davis is at. Ian Doherty, I promise you, he had the one huge hit to right field on Saturday. That it was right after Oklahoma State had tied the game, and he actually put Oklahoma State in. Actually, no, OSU was down by 1 still at the time, and he put Oklahoma State in the lead. That was a huge hit because, hey, you come back, but you never quite get to the top of that mountain. Well, what Ian did is he got us over that hurdle. And once he got us over that hurdle, now we're playing downhill again, and it's much easier. And then also, if you noticed how well Ian controlled the pitchers, he'd go out and talk to them, he'd communicated with them. He was definitely a coach on the field, no doubt. I will say, with all the great baseball, there were hit and runs, there were 2-strike approaches, there were hits down the opposite field lines, there were pull side hits, there was good defense. Colin Ritchie, what a play on Friday. I mean, if Colin Ritchie doesn't make that play in left center on Friday, then Arizona State might score 5 runs in the first inning. And, hey, that lefty they had on the bump, he doesn't throw no strikes. That's why his ERA looks the way it does. But I promise you, the strikes that are in the zone are very hard to hit. And then if you give him a 5-run league and he is throwing strikes, now you're out of luck. So I thought maybe the play of the weekend was the catch that Colin Ritchie made in the first inning of the first game in left center. And then, like the great ones do, Harrison Bodendorf settles in and gives the Oklahoma State Cowboys a great start, no doubt about it. But with all the winning plays, the great defense, like I talked about, the sequence of the weekend that really felt the most like OSU baseball was whenever Schubert and Brigham went back-to-back. It was like that was the third home run of the inning. Braden Smith hit the home run to put the Cowboys I think it was either tie or put them ahead. I can't remember. There's so many games going on. Braden Smith hit the big home run, and then Schubert and Brigham added on to it. That was absolutely awesome. That was the moment where I was like, yep, this is OSU baseball right here. I mean, like it was 20 minutes of hearing the Gap Band, you dropped a bomb on me for the entire inning. It was like, hey, let's bow our chest, let's flex our muscles here a little bit, and let's get after it, man. This is OSU baseball right here. Then you got Gabe Davis coming in just blowing snot on the mound. You got guys just absolutely just battling up on the mound. It was a gritty weekend. Very proud of Drew Culbertson. I know he made the error there late with Sean Youngerman on the mound. But, man, he played a gritty, tough weekend. It was great to see Avery Ortiz back. And, I mean, if the bad luck doesn't continue, of course, you lose Brock Thompson before the first game in warm-ups. And so Jason Jones has to go back to third base. He had the one play, threw a little bit high. Good job calling Brigham and plucking that one out of the air. Alex Conover had a hit his last time up. Hopefully that is a sign of things to come. And Colin Ritchie looked like a Major League Baseball player. I mean, he looked like he was in control of every single at-bat he had. Wow, what a weekend for him. And Nolan Schubert is the greatest home run hitter in Oklahoma State history since Pete Incaviglia. He's second only to Inky in home runs per at-bats. He is O'Brate Stadium. Nolan Schubert is O'Brate Stadium. What I'm going to remember, my first memories of O'Brate is Nolan Schubert in the overarching part of things, is Nolan Schubert just absolutely just tattooing one home run after the other out of that park. So I was super proud of Brendan Phillips. Came in a very difficult situation. I know the Cowboys had the lead, but man, if you go to walking people and you give up 2 or 3 runs, that turns really uncomfortable fast, because I'm telling you, Arizona State can hit. I thought Brendan Phillips did a great job pitching to the lead. I thought, although Matthew Brown ended up giving up 2 runs on his box score, I thought he did a fantastic job, ran into some decently tough luck because the strike zones were very little all weekend. They were TrackMan zones. Gabe Davis did a good job. I thought Sean Youngerman was absolute nails with the bases loaded. He had to fight through 2 errors, a very tight strike zone behind the plate, and it just doesn't faze him at all. And then Gabe Davis came in behind him. So the bullpen, which is Hunter Watkins, did a fantastic job on Sunday. I know the 4 runs he gave up doesn't look like he did, in the sense that, all right, 5 innings, 4. I'm telling you, though, the job he did put Oklahoma he went 5 innings scoreless. He gave Oklahoma State time to build a lead, which is huge. And then, so it kind of put Oklahoma State in a situation to where even after a crooked number from Arizona State, they were only up 1. That's when Braden Smith did his magic. That's when Nolan Schubert and Colin Brigham made everybody there feel like they were watching OSU baseball, right? That was the answer to that. And then that brings you into the complimentary baseball piece. So what is complimentary baseball? To simply put, complimentary baseball is, hey, I got you, bro. No problem. You make an error? No problem. I got you. I got it covered. Okay? What Sean Youngerman did. You make 2 errors? No problem. I'm going to get the next hitter. It's not a problem. Hey, we give up a crooked number, a couple of runs, and Arizona State now has the lead. Braden Smith? No problem, man. I'm just going to hit me a little opposite field home run. Nolan Schubert? No problem. We're going to take a 2-run lead. Hey, Colin Brigham? No problem. We're going to take a 3-run lead. That's complimentary baseball, okay? What Brendan Phillips did, what Matthew Brown did, pitching to a lead, because you have to realize Brendan Phillips and Matthew Brown, they're pitching for their personal lives in terms of trying to pitch more, be a part of the trust tree. And so for them to go out and say, I'm going to pitch 1.2 innings and give up a run is a very difficult position for them, because statistically, does that put them in a position to get more touches? Not from a statistical perspective, but what you have to understand is from a coaching perspective, if they go out and do what they're supposed to based on the situation of the game at hand, that in itself will gather more trust from their coaches than anything else, and that in itself will give them more touches. Matthew Brown's getting more touches because I think Coach Walton trusts the fact that he's going to go out there and he's going to compete his ass off, and he's going to put the damn thing in the strike zone. He is going to give it, for the most part, he is going to give his team a chance because it's going to be in the zone. Which, that 3-2 pitch, that sinker that he threw, that started on the inner half and slid back over to the outer half, absolutely big-time pitch. It was great to see Avery Ortiz back. I thought he had a big hit there in that first game where he kind of dinked that one down the left field line. He did not, in my opinion, look like he's totally ready to play on an everyday basis. I will be curious to see how that situation plays out as we move forward. So it was a great weekend. I thought I enjoyed it. I was super proud of the Oklahoma State fans. Man, they showed up. And hey, been saying it all year. When you show up and you show these kids that you support them, and you show these kids that they matter to you, and you show these kids that hey, you got their back, right? And hey, let's go win. It makes a difference in the way that they play. It just absolutely does. So congratulations to the Oklahoma State fans. O'Brate was electric all weekend. It was just, you had all the wonderful alumni there. I got to talk to Coach Hawk and Coach Gore and several of the alumni there. So that was awesome. And it was just a perfect weekend. I'm going to finish by saying this. As of today, I think Oklahoma State is in, even if they lose to Baylor. That doesn't mean that that's guaranteed. So what I say is, I think if Oklahoma State loses to Baylor, they're still in, and I say that under the pretense of if everything goes perfectly in terms of no upsets, here or there where a certain conference gets more tournament teams in than they were supposed to. So if OSU loses to Baylor, they're definitely going to be scoreboard watching. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be on pins and needles. I think if Oklahoma State beats Baylor, I don't even think you have to scoreboard watch. That's where I'm at. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. We'll see. But I think that's where you're at. So, hey, good season for the softballers. They'll get back at it next year. Coach Gajewski will get all that figured out. Hopefully this Oklahoma State baseball team can stay on this type of run baseball-wise for another, what? We have the Big 12 tournament. You have the regional, super regional, Omaha. 4 more weeks. Can we do this for 4 more weeks? That'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? Hey, certainly would be. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm Casey Porter of OkState Daily. Go Pokes.